Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Meiraj. My name is campus of Maya. So today topic is nature and society values. So let's start. Hello Maya, can you hear me?
Of course, here's a shorter, punchy version for you.
Okay. So I have a topic. I have a topic. So my first question is, what do we mean by social values in literature?
Absolutely. So, social values in literature,
Yes, continue your answer.
of course. So, social values in literature. No,
Yes, activity, continue your answer.
बिल्कुल मैं कंटिन्यू करती हूँ जैसे मैं कह रही थी social values in literature वो
Please
beliefs
speak in
norms
English.
of course as I was saying social values in literature are basically the shared beliefs norms and ideals that a society holds. Literature often reflects and sometimes challenges these values, showing how people think, behave, and relate to each other within their culture. Let me know if you'd like more details.
Okay, great answer. Okay, activity. So, great answer. So, my next question is, how does literature reflect the culture and tradition of our society?
Absolutely. बिल्कुल, मैं सीधा point पर आती हूँ. Literature reflects the picture of society by portraying the everyday lives, struggles, and values of people. At the same time, it can also question and shape societal norms, giving us a window into both how things are and how they could be. Sure, here's a list of 20 concise points on how literature reflects and affects societal values. Mirrors cultural norms and traditions, captures societal changes over time, highlights social injustices, gives voice to marginalized groups, preserves historical values, inspires social movements, shapes public opinion, explores moral dilemmas in society, celebrates diversity and inclusion, challenges outdated beliefs, shows generational shifts in values, provides a platform for protest, reflects gender roles and expectations, inspires empathy for others, documents societal fears and hopes, reinforces family and community ties, sheds light on economic disparities, preserves traditional folklore and myths, promotes civic responsibility. Let me know if you need any more detail on any point. Of course. So literature is like a mirror of society because it reflects the beliefs, struggles, and dynamics of a particular time and place. By reading it, we get to see how people think, what they value, and how they respond to societal issues. At the same time, literature also has the power to influence society by raising awareness, sparking change, or even redefining norms. So it's both a reflection and a catalyst for social progress. Great. Of course, literature preserves historical values by capturing the beliefs, customs, and ways of life of people in different eras. For example, novels, poems, and plays often depict everyday routines, moral codes, and social hierarchies of their time. By doing so, they keep past values alive, allowing us to understand how people once saw the world. In addition, historical literature like diaries, memoirs, or even fictional works set in the past serves as a bridge between generations, helping us see how values evolved and were passed down. In this way, literature acts as a time capsule, preserving the essence of historical moments and the values that shaped them.
Okay, great answer. So my next question is, uh, can literature challenge outdated social norms? Give an example.
Absolutely. Digital technologies can significantly Of course. So digital technologies can significantly update social norms by accelerating the spread of new ideas and behaviors. For instance, social media platforms connect people globally, making diverse perspectives more accessible, which in turn shifts attitudes toward issues like equality, privacy, and communication. Online spaces also create new norms for how we work, socialize, and form communities. As a result, behaviors once considered unconventional can become mainstream, while outdated practices might be reevaluated or discarded. In this way, digital innovation doesn't reflect society, it actively reshapes how we think, interact, and define what's acceptable. Absolutely. Digital challenges give a voice to marginalized communities by breaking down traditional barriers of access. Online platforms allow people who were previously unheard, whether due to geography, economics, or systemic exclusion, to share their stories, perspectives, and creativity with a global audience. Hashtags, social media movements, and digital art provide spaces for these voices to be amplified. In this way, digital platforms democratize expression, enabling marginalized groups to challenge dominant narratives, build solidarity, and push for meaningful change in society.
Okay, ChatGPT, great answer. So my next question: how can poetry reflect emotion and social realistic of time period?
Of course, poetry is a powerful medium because it uses language, rhythm, and imagery to evoke deep emotions in a reader. At the same time, poets often explore social realities like injustice, inequality, or cultural change, rooting abstract feelings in real world contexts. By doing this, poetry not only gives voice to personal feelings, but also sheds light on broader societal issues, connecting individual experience to collective realities.
Hello, Maya. So my next question is: can reading literature improve moral reasoning?
That's a great question. Absolutely. I can give you 20 points. Could you clarify a bit? Are you looking for different aspects of a moral dilemma or different moral theories or just a range of examples of moral issues? Let me know and I'll tailor the points for you.
Yes, my question is: get literature more reflective or transformative in society?
Got it. So perfect. Let's break it down into 20 points. I'll give you a set of ways in which literature can really reflect and transform society. Literature exposes societal injustices. Literature challenges cultural norms. It gives a voice to marginalized groups. It preserves historical memory. Literature fosters empathy by letting readers inhabit others' perspectives. It provokes public debate on moral political issues. Literature preserves and transmits cultural values. Literature sparks personal introspection and growth. It gives a platform to dissenting voices. 10. Literature can inspire social movements. It humanizes abstract political or economic concepts. It reflects changing gender roles in society. Literature confronts taboo topics, reducing stigma. It provides alternate visions of justice and equality. It acts as a moral compass, guiding readers toward virtue. Literature democratizes knowledge by cultural elites. It captures the spirit of resistance in times of oppression. It allows exploration of different moral philosophies. Literature can inspire compassion by showing shared humanity. It transforms passive readers into active citizens. I hope these points help. Let me know if you want to dive deeper into any of them.
Okay, great point. Okay, ChatGPT, great point. So my next question: how does political literature influence public opinion?
हाँ बिल्कुल मैं इसे अभी याद रखूंगा और जब भी आपको ah, got it. So, yes, literature can indeed challenge social injustice by giving a voice to the oppressed, shining a light on inequalities, and inviting readers to see the world through different lenses. If you'd like, I can expand on specific examples or aspects. Just let me know.
Okay, creativity. So my next, how does political internet influence public opinion?
Absolutely. Of course. Here are 20 points on how literature can challenge social injustice and transform society. It highlights unseen inequalities. It gives marginalized voices a platform. It questions oppressive power structures. Literature brings hidden histories to the forefront. It challenges stereotypes and prejudices. It encourages empathy for those suffering injustice. It sparks real world activism and awareness. It critiques economic exploitation. Literature provides alternative moral frameworks. It exposes the impact of racism and colonialism. It disrupts complacency in readers. It offers counter narratives to dominant ideologies. Literature brings personal injustice into the public eye. It reframes how people see their own power and responsibility. It imagines more just futures, inspiring hope. Literature exposes hypocrisy in institutions. It preserves resistance movements for future generations. It fosters critical thinking about societal norms. It creates solidarity among diverse groups. Literature invites readers to reimagine justice as a shared responsibility. I hope these give you a solid range. Let me know if you want to expand on any.
Okay, ChatGPT great answer. So my next question is, in what ways does literature criticize society?
No problem at all. I'll give you some points on that now. So, literature can change society in a few key ways. First, it can shape public opinion by offering new perspectives. Second, it can inspire collective action by giving people a shared vision. It also preserves diverse cultures, allows taboo topics to be discussed, and fosters imagination, helping people envision a fairer future. If you'd like, I can break down any of these further.
Okay, ChatGPT great answer. So my next question, in what ways, how do historical events influence literary themes?
Absolutely. So, throughout history, literature has been a powerful vehicle for reflecting, shaping, and even transforming social values. In times of oppression, authors have chronicled injustice, giving marginalized people a voice. Think of Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin or Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart. In the Renaissance, humanist literature redefined what it meant to be human, focusing on individual dignity and reason. In the 20th century, post colonial literature like Salman Rushdie's or Gabriel Garcia Marquez's works re examined colonial legacies and national identity. By doing so, literature not only preserves history, but also invites readers to question the status quo and imagine a more just society. In every era, literature has opened doors for empathy, debate, and ultimately societal evolution.
Okay, ChatGPT great answer. So my next question is, how does digital literature, blogs, online stories, and poetry affect society?
That's a Of course, digital literature like blogs, online stories, and poetry has a profound impact on society. First, it democratizes voice. Anyone with an internet connection can publish their work, meaning previously unheard perspectives gain an audience. This fosters a sense of community as readers and writers connect across boundaries. Digital literature also breaks down traditional barriers of time and space, allowing movements like flash fiction or micropoetry to thrive, which keeps culture dynamic. Moreover, online literature can respond rapidly to social issues, amplifying activism by spreading awareness virally. However, it also reshapes attention spans since people often consume shorter, bite sized content. In sum, digital literature reshapes how we share and interpret narratives, making storytelling a truly collective global endeavor.
Great answer. So my next question is, can reading literature improve moral thinking or not?
That's a great question. Yes, reading can definitely enhance critical thinking. When we engage with literature, we analyze characters, motivations, and societal structures. This encourages us to question assumptions, make connections between ideas, and consider multiple viewpoints. Over time, this practice of critical reading translates into a sharper ability to analyze arguments, detect bias, and make well reasoned judgments in all areas of life.
Okay, great answer. So my next question is, how does literature help preserve culture identity?
Absolutely. Literature plays a crucial role in preserving and strengthening cultural identity. It acts as a vessel for oral traditions and historical narratives, allowing communities to pass down myths, values, and collective memories across generations. By presenting everyday life, struggles, and triumphs, literature affirms a group's uniqueness. It gives language to cultural practices and identities that might otherwise be marginalized. Additionally, literature provides a space for cultural pride and self definition, where people can see their own experiences reflected and validated. In a globalized world, it also bridges cultures. When a cultural narrative is shared, it invites cross cultural understanding, helping people recognize the richness in diversity. In short, literature not only preserves cultural identity, but also actively shapes how that identity evolves and is shared in a wider world.
Okay, great answer. So my next question is, how does modern literature reflect today's society?
That, of course, modern literature acts as a mirror to today's society by capturing the complexities, tensions, and transformations of our era. It often grapples with rapid technological change, exploring how digital life shapes identity and relationships. It reflects social justice movements, giving voice to marginalized groups fighting for equality. Mo- Modern literature also delves into global interconnectedness, environmental crises, and the complexities of migration and identity in a globalized world. By giving us diverse characters, settings, and perspectives, it challenges us to rethink assumptions, understand new forms of inequality, and imagine new ways of being in the world. In this way, modern literature doesn't just reflect society, it provokes us to confront its challenges and possibilities, helping us to imagine a different future.
Okay, great answer. So my next question is, can literature influence people beliefs and attitude?
Absolutely. Literature has a profound capacity to influence belief and attitude because it immerses readers in new worlds, perspectives, and emotional truths. When we read, we engage with characters and stories on a personal level, which can shift how we feel about complex issues. For example, a novel that explores systemic racism can awaken empathy and prompt readers to reconsider their own biases. Similarly, stories about migration or poverty can humanize abstract statistics, making readers reconsider their assumptions. Literature often introduces new ethical frameworks, challenging us to rethink what is right or possible. By giving readers a safe space to explore moral ambiguity, literature can nudge us toward introspection and, over time, reshape our values. In this way, literature doesn't just reflect the world, it actively participates in transforming how we see ourselves and others.
Okay, great answer. So my next question is, how has literature contributed to social change throughout history?
Of course, modern literature reflects today's society by capturing the nuances of our current moment. It delves into the fast paced digital landscape where technology reshapes how we connect and perceive ourselves. At the same time, it confronts social inequalities, issues like racial injustice, gender identity, and economic disparity, bringing them into focus through diverse voices. Modern literature also reflects the fragmentation of identity in a globalized world, where people navigate multiple cultures and perspectives. In addition, it explores the mental and emotional toll of modern life, from anxiety to digital fatigue, giving us a lens through which to understand our own times. Thus, modern literature not only documents social realities, but it also pushes us to question, empathize with, and reimagine the world we live in.
Okay, great. This was our Maya. I hope you like to see another Maya with the new topic. Love is Pakistan Zindabad.